I have a long history and passion for the music video. In high school, I actually started my own music video show that later screened in New York and San Diego and San Francisco. And when I started my festival, ResFest, in the mid-90s, to see some of these videos, imagine the work of Chris Cunningham or Michelle Gondry or Spike Jonze, to see them on a large screen, it was really amazing. And we had retrospectives of some of these directors where we'd sell out 1,000 seats. And it created kind of quite a stir around the world. This is before any of these filmmakers had made feature films. So we had a large part in popularizing these directors and people like Shinola from the UK and showing their work for the first time in Japan and actually bringing the festival to here to Acme in Australia. So it was a festival that went to 18 countries, over 35 cities around the world, focused on short films and music videos. Meg and I actually met at the Sundance Film Festival, but we were both from the San Francisco Bay Area and had never met there. Her magazine, she ran a gallery and a magazine. Her magazine actually wrote about my film festival, and yet we had never met until Sundance.
I'm a child of the MTV generation. I watched it when it started, and I grew up being influenced pretty heavily by music videos. I was there, when the icons of music video in the United States that we know of, Michael Jackson, Madonna, the Go-Go's, Duran Duran, like all these big names coming up in music video happened. And I was heavily, heavily influenced by that in my youth, and many people of my generation too. So I have this great passion for it, just personally, and I have always loved it. And over the years, in my collaborations with Jonathan, it was just a natural shared passion for the both of us.
So one of the interests, kind of a personal interest of both of ours, in addition to film and music and design, was also the physicality, the physical experience. And we've some of our collaborations with some of these directors, people like Florence Sigismondi and Roman Coppola, have been not just related to film, but also creating immersive experiences. And that was one of our interests in creating spectacle, is to not just have a bunch of screens on pedestals, which we've all seen before, but to do something quite different and to create a real immersive experience that kind of captures the magic of music video.
We had this opportunity in the form of the Contemporary Art Center in Cincinnati. They had heard about the film series that we were doing at the Hammer Museum, were very excited about it. So the museum came to us, Rafaela Plato, the director, and asked if we would be open to some form of collaboration on that level. And Jonathan and I came back to her and said, we would actually like to do something bigger. And that's how Spectacle was born. We're with this exhibition, what we're hoping to do is to have people really be inspired, rediscover work that they might have forgotten, and also discover work that they may never have known about or would never have seen.
Music video itself is very much a collaboration between artist and filmmaker, and certainly putting together Spectacle couldn't have happened without some really important collaborators. It was very important to us. In our research, there had been, over the last 20, 30 years, there had been other museum looks at music video. Mostly were screening based, or they were just simply TVs on pedestals, and that was absolutely not what we wanted to do. We wanted to create something that was really immersive and kind of recreated the magic of a video with beautiful graphics. And so we approached Alexei Tailovich, who is the co-founder and creative director of Logan. So he created such a brilliant kind of look for the exhibition. And one of his designers at the time, Corey Holmes, who designed the logo for The Sopranos and many movie posters, he actually designed the Spectacle logo. And Corey also did the movie posters that are in the Epic section. So as much as acclaim that Meg and I received for the exhibition, it really couldn't have happened without our collaborators. And I think the exhibition design is a big part of how people perceive the videos that are in the show. When we first approached what would be featured in Spectacle, we came up with the idea of genres or themes. Films have common themes of whether it be horror or comedy or romance, or even themes around techniques of animation or documentary. What would those be for music video? Well, they don't exist, so we created them. But we found common kind of themes that we could discover, like amazing dance videos. So we created a section around choreography. And then discovered some emerging areas that were really exciting. Remix, kind of the way in the YouTube age that fans are now interacting with videos in whole new ways, like doing their own Beyonce Single Ladies dance, or doing video sampling or lip dubs. I mean, there's so many kind of subgenres within that section. So once we kind of defined what those were, then we could discover even more. Obviously, in a show like this, there's so many more videos that could be included. So we look at Spectacle as really a point of discovery for people, that there might be a director that we featured only one video of, but they have a brilliant amount of other work. And so whether it be a director or an artist, we hope that people get turned on and inspired by some of these artists, and then discover how much more they have to offer as well. And what's really unique about Spectacle is it's really an exhibition that you can bring the whole family to. I mean, how many exhibitions would have the range of Bob Dylan to Kanye West, or that's pretty unique, I think.
I think that there's a perception about music video that it exists and people know of it and know about it, but the perception of it is almost like a second sister to cinema or commercials or the bigger work where filmmakers are more recognized, when in fact it's the breeding ground and the most creative process really for some of these filmmakers, because this is where they started. And so you see how they started here and then they go on to do bigger things.
It wasn't until the 90s that directors started to get credited for the music videos. Before then, you didn't know who made these. And even at MTV's VMA Awards, the Best Director Award would be accepted by the music artist. And some of those music artists wouldn't even acknowledge that there was a director behind it. But in fact, there are amazing filmmakers, and not just filmmakers, but cinematographers and choreographers and editors and visual effects artists that make these things happen. And certainly it's in collaboration with the artist, but it's not something that's made by one sole person. And in fact, one of the things that's great about music video in looking at its impact is beyond, we all acknowledge that there's amazing directors who've come out of music video and are making some of the most compelling feature films today. But another thing that's unsung about music video is that there are these artists, these technicians that came out of that gained professionalism that then they brought to cinema. Some of the videos that were groundbreaking videos that were made by directors who didn't get the same acclaim as the Spikes and the Michelles and the Jonathan Glazers are directors like Stephen R. Johnson, who did Sledgehammer for Peter Gabriel. And he also worked with David Byrne and the Talking Heads on Road to Nowhere. He made some brilliant videos, but he's not as well known as those later directors. I also think another game-changing video is Aha, Take On Me. That video made that band. And that was Stephen Barron who directed the video. And Michael Patterson being the animator. And there was the record label who kind of put them together. And that video made Aha. That was, you can point to certain bands who music video was essential for their success.
There's many different ingredients that go into making a great video. If you think about it, you can break it down into different things. So there's the magic, mischief, technique part. There's the cleverness of a repurposing of an original video that a fan might have re-envisioned into something different. And then there might be just the simplicity of narrative or photography or a process that you might not think of, like using yarn for props or 3D as, technology. But I think overall it's the coming together of the ingredients and the finished product that shows how it becomes amazing. When you can relate to the video, when you can sing that song and you want to wear the fashion that the singer is wearing, or you want to emulate, the style that you see there. I mean, I think that becomes a powerful influence, and that's when its effect as an art form really starts to take, to take place and becomes effective at, being a powerful medium, if you will.
I don't think telling a narrative story is crucial in a video. In fact, one of the things that makes music video unique amongst other types of visual storytelling is the fact that it can be completely experimental. You can mix animation and live action, and it can do things that just simply are ridiculous. And in the context of a 3-minute video, it can get away with that. And if you look at one of the videos one of the pieces really great in Spectacle and Remix, there's an artist who did a music video without the music, which is based on the Psy Gangnam Style video. And he basically used an a cappella track, and then he put in sound effects that he imagined matched the visuals. And it just shows you how you see things that you didn't see before and how ridiculous the whole thing is. But somehow in the original video, it's sold. So I think this is one of the things that is really great about music video, is the fact that it can be a complete experimental sandbox for artists.
I see a kind of a freedom and democracy with remix, I think, because it used to be permissions would prevent all manner of new ideas from coming out. Oh, you can't use that clip. Oh, you don't have permission to use the bit of that song. You're going to get sued. And with the internet, people just don't care. They're like, well, just try and stop me. I'm going to make this because I want to, because I feel like it, because it influences me, and I like the song, and I want to see what other people are doing around the world, and I'm going to put it out there. And who cares, And I love that, because at the end of the day, you do have to break those boundaries to discover new things. You do have to break it in order to see that, oh, I couldn't really see what this interactivity was going to happen. And I don't mean interactivity necessarily with technology. I mean interactivity with the audience and the filmmaker and the artist. It's so incredible to see that exchange of ideas, to see Beyonce's Single Ladies video has been repurposed multiple times around the world by different people. And that's the effect that it has. And then it's turned into this one big video. The same with Gautier's Somebody That I Used to Know. And so why not? It is interesting to see it in a different light. It's interesting to see what other people are creating to make it new and refresh it, if you will. It's not necessarily always great, but this is the power of the internet and the influence and where it's going.
The story of the future of music video is yet to be told. In Spectacle, we feature some peeks at what a future could look like. The interactive music video work of Chris Milk with his Johnny Cash project and The Wilderness Downtown for Arcade Fire, and Vincent Morissette, who's a real pioneer. He was the one who made the very first interactive music video, Neon Bible, for Arcade Fire.
At the end of the day, the music video that can make an impact, that resonates, I think that's the future of music video, no matter what era, no matter what time. It's the ones that stay with you and that you can't stop talking about, no matter what the technique, no matter what the process. That's really the future of music video, that you can watch it and you can relate to it, and it resonates with you, it stays with you, it changes the way you think about it, and you'll never forget it. It will be there forever. The discussion that we hope to provoke with people coming to see the exhibition is that they will think about music video in a different light. Meaning, rather than just a passing kind of disposable art form that some people consider it to be, that it's actually a very important art form that is influential and has reach and is very powerful and has the power to kind of really change people's perspectives, and also a sense of discovery, because I think that's important. We have over 300 videos in the show, but we think that's just a starting point. It's the tip of the iceberg, and that people should really go out there and search other videos that have inspired them in the past, but also look at what's happening, what's new, and maybe be inspired to create new videos that, you know, will inspire, you know, a new process, if you will, or new ways of the art form evolving.